For a lot of us, it can take years, even maybe a decade or more, to finally come out of a rut and struggling to the point where your life is back to peaceful. And by peaceful, I don't mean you're feeling good. I don't mean you're feeling good because, honestly, let's say you're having sex, you're gonna feel good after that. Let's say you watch a movie, you might feel good after that. You have a good meal, you might feel good after that. But at the end of the month, if you still can't feel good in the sense with the whole of your life, meaning you can't pay your bills or you can't have good relationships, then those feelings are for naught, right? Because that isn't your entire life and being, just being in flow. So what I'm talking about is when you can stop at any moment during any day, at any part of, let's say, a year, and think like, hey, am I doing all right? And you go, yeah, I'm doing all right. So that's what I'm talking about. So if you can do that on every level, all the different parts of your life, from your finances to your health, to your spirituality, to your mission, to your well-being, to your relationships, to your business, maybe to your children, and so on. So when all aspects are aligned, that's what we're trying to get back to. So that's what I'm talking about in this video. So one of the things you can do is go into deep self-care. And self-care can come in many forms, many different ways that you might want to do self-care. Depends on what you like. So there could be, for some people it's yoga, for some people it's meditation, for some people it's exercise. For some of us it's making music, for some of us it's doing weights at home. For me today, I did study a life coach once who said at the start of the day she has to build herself up before she can serve anyone else. And I'm starting to see what that means, because so many people can be so depressed that when you serve so many clients, you really need to build yourself up first. It's the same for me. So what I did at the start of the day was to get out some weights, put on a couple of movies on Netflix, albeit about the more interdimensional realms and things like that, you know, to keep my mind on the stuff that I enjoy, the spiritual stuff. Did that for 2 to 3 hours, including stretching. And so for you, this could be different. This could be going to the seaside like where I am right now and journaling. It could be looking out at the ocean, contemplating your life. It could be any one of these things. Another thing you can do is to sort of have a conversation with yourself. Many people describe this in different ways. Some people call it speaking to your spirit guide. Some people call it speaking to your higher guidance, your inner self, your inner voice. There's many names. But the bottom line is, a lot of us have different timings and quiet moments where you can speak to this inner voice. For me, my inner voice speaks to me in the shower, or while I'm brushing, or in the gym. Any moment, or while I'm doing weights. Any moment where suddenly the daily activities drops from my head, my inner voice starts speaking. This is how I come out with my quotes. This is how I come out with my videos. Today's video was also given to me by my inner voice to come to this venue in the sort of dying sunlight and then make this video. So that was also my inner voice. So having conversations with your inner voice often will lead to a lot of clarity, and listening to your feelings more. This is a big one for me because I was raised in Singapore and I was like a top student. So maybe you're like me, or maybe you're in the corporate space, or maybe you're a lawyer, or maybe you're something your parents wanted you to be. You've been conditioned so hard. Maybe you're in the army or Air Force. You've been conditioned so hard to listen to what other people want that it's very rare that you start to trust your own feelings. And I told this to someone when I was working at a co-working space. She headed the co-working space. So she was in charge of, I guess, some of the, well, I forget her exact title, but she was a very nice person. Shout out to Farah if you're watching this, at Just Co at Marina One. I told her that why do we drink coffee and tea? Why do we have these stimulants to push us over the edge and keep us focused? It's because we're not actually doing what we want to. Because if you're doing what you want to, why would you need coffee and tea? Think about it for a second. And many people have rid their body of stimulants or drugs like coffee, tea, cigarettes, whatever, hard drugs, whatever you might be on, medication, antidepressants, whatever. You know that those stimulants are crazy, but for the rest of the population like me and other people who might be just coming out of it, I've tried for 3 years now to quit tea and coffee. So you know that if you're totally in flow and doing exactly what your body wants to do at that moment, unless of course at that moment it really just wants a cup of coffee, if it wants anything else, you wouldn't need coffee. So for now, when I came here out of habit, I was thinking, I gotta get a coffee from the cafe first and then sit by the ocean. How cool that would be. And then I thought, wait, the sunlight's dying. I better go shoot the vlog. And now that I'm shooting this video, you know what? I don't feel like I need coffee right now. I'm not craving for it. Why? Because I'm doing exactly what I want to do. So I'm not feeling like I need a stimulant. So a lot of us are doing corporate jobs and we're using coffee and tea to drive us, to force us to sit down at a desk where we're not supposed to sit and then focus on things which in our right minds, our body and soul would tell me, or you or us, why are you spending 30 minutes at a laptop when that's not what your body is designed to do? And you don't want to force yourself there with coffee or tea or cigarettes. So if you have to force yourself there with coffee or tea or cigarettes, then you know that that's not something natural that your body actually wants to do and your soul actually wants you to do. That's something to keep in mind. So that's the second thing. Have conversations with yourself. I'll give you another example on that point. Recently, I was about to ask someone to start a band for the umpteenth time. I release music on my own perfectly well. People dig it. I sing at home as well and release those. But you know what? I have this itch to be forming a band and sort of trying to do it full time as a form of rebellion, I think. Even as I was about to type the message to the guy to say, hey, do you want to form a band? There was a little body response inside me, somewhere in your upper abdomen. It's gonna respond and clench. And it clenched, but I ignored it. And it was like I shouldn't be sending this text because I know I don't actually want this band. What I want is something much, much different for my life. I do want to release music, but I don't necessarily want that band. So I eventually, he said no, I can't make it and all that. And now I might actually not set up the band because I'm doing another exercise, which I'll share in other videos, where I'm figuring out what I actually want to do with my life, aside from YouTube and sharing the wisdom and knowledge and teaching and consulting and so on. If at all, anything else. Otherwise, this could just be bliss for me because I'm a natural sort of speaker, or so I've been told. I didn't really know that until people were like, dude, you can't shut up, so go and speak. So that's the second point. Have inner conversations with yourself and listen to your own feelings and your own advice inside you and your own inner guidance. Now, the next point I can think about before the sun goes down here, rid yourself of as many habits and distractions that aren't actually taking you towards goals that you've decided on. But honestly, if you're watching this video and if you're at this point in your life, and you watch till here, which means this is interesting to you because things are happening inside you as you listen to this, that means that you need to take a break from your goals anyway, because they might be the wrong goals for you that you might have set based on something else, or you might be heading down in a direction where somebody else pushed you into. So now what you need to do is to remove some of those habits. So if you wake up in the morning and anyway your boss has allowed you to be work from home or remote, and you're suddenly going, I must go to work now, because it's a habit, don't do it for the next day after watching this, or whenever you want to start this exercise. Don't do it. Rid yourself of the usual stuff so your body can start to wonder like, hey, yo, what's going on? I'm in an unfamiliar territory. And usually in those moments, when you spend more time with yourself and rid yourself of external habits, you're giving more space for your inner soul and voice to come out. So even if it's distractions, it falls under the same point. So like if the family's like, we're gonna go for dinner, and partying or dinner or drinks or whatever is not really your thing, then you don't go. You just don't go. So that's another point to keep in mind. So once you start to remove that distraction from there, it starts to bring you closer to what you actually want to do. So you just don't go and you remove those distractions. This could be, and I'm gonna get a bit blunt over here, this could be an annoying spouse. This could be a kid, a child of yours who's too much yickety yakety going on in your ears. You need a break from them from the weekends. Maybe on the weekend, maybe go book a hotel for yourself, something along those lines. It could be your boss or colleagues. Take a couple of days off, take a week off, spend it by yourself in a hotel room with no devices. More on that in another video, but just to let you know, the first day of that, it's going to be kind of crazy. You might think you're going crazy, but you're not. You're just detoxing from all the distractions from outside, because that's what happens on your phone. It's not you, it's from the outside. So get rid of distractions and outer voices. So that's sort of the third thing. The fourth thing you can do to get your life sort of back on track and really put it all back together is to change your physiology. So your body is sort of a reflection of what's going on in your life at that moment. If you're exercising, you're going to look different. If you're sleeping more, you're going to look different. If you're sleeping less, you're going to look different. And not only look different, you're going to think different. When you've been doing more activities, you're going to think different. When you've been stuck in your house, in your own home study, you're going to think different. I'm not saying either one's bad or good. There are no such rules, but they all lead to different outcomes. So if the current physiology or current habits for your body are leading to or are simultaneous with you being stuck in a rut, it's possible that changing that physiology or physical habits of yours would lead to different outcomes than the rut. So it would lead to different outcomes in your life. Another way that I just came across is to really think about what is of value to yourself. So there's many ways to look at this, which I will cover in another video. But if you look back at your life 30 years from now, what would you want to have done that would fill you up with fulfillment? I'm not talking about excitement, because anything can be exciting. You can take car rides at 150 km an hour every day and feel excited. That's not the point. The point is, what when you look back after like 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, or if you're already like 50, then how many ever years you have left or whenever, you look back and you go, wow, that's fulfilling. That's like, wow, I did that. Now I'm ready to die. That can be a bit cryptic, but that's the truth. If you're going to be living like in a more fulfilled way, the feelings that you get from that every day would automatically lead you to think and will make you feel that you're living on track and that you fixed your life. And that's a great feeling and space to be in. When you're on purpose every day, you wake up, you're like, I love doing this. It uses my natural skills. It's fulfilling me. And so on and so forth. And again, that's not to be confused with that excitement feeling and joy feeling I brought up in, I think it was point 1, 2, or 3, where you eat an ice cream or you have sex or you go to the club or you do something exciting or something that releases endorphins. You're like, yeah, I feel good about my life. That's not what it is. It's where at any point on any day, you look around you or you look inwards and you're feeling like zen and happy. You're feeling fulfilled. There's this sweet feeling that you can't shake. That's when you know, okay, now you're getting to that place. Not just momentary highs. I use all of these and more, and I'll be sharing more about these in the videos to come. The sun is setting now, so I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. My name is Zephyr, and I'm here to help you guys out with success in all aspects of life, because that's what I'm excited about. Do subscribe to this channel somewhere around here. There'll be more such videos on my channel, so stay tuned for them. Check out these other videos or series that are popping up around here and here. Thanks so much for today. Stay tuned for more. Take care and bye-bye.